Temple of the Past is the map where we have to protect a temple in the center of the map from waves of enemy units. If the temple survives until the end of the game, we win. If the enemies destroy the temple, we lose. Enemies get stronger when more of their friends die. Enemies revive once upon death. They also steal your buildings when they destroy said buildings.
Swann, where do we have him?
He can hold his own side just fine, and he can help his ally. Killing Thrashers is a bit awkward because you're going to want to use mass turret, but Wraiths are a good unit that you do have, so you can get Wraiths out to deal with the Void Thrashers. I think that Swann could be A, personally.
So he's better Carax.
Yeah.
Because he has options against the Thrashers.
Because he has more options against Thrashers. Like, Carax has options, but Swann has a better option. And that option is Wraiths. Wraiths are a great option against Thrashers. Like,
Alright,
really.
so we're recommending the first Prestige here and just spam turrets at the ramps?
You could use first Prestige, you could use second Prestige.
Alright.
Kind of whichever you choose to use.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Same issue with Carax. Cyclones, not Cyclones.
Immortals.
Immortals exist. Immortals hurt.
Can't you slow
They're
them
gonna
down
break.
with the laser?
I mean, you can, but it'll make them stronger because you'll kill all the weak guys around them.
My experience has been that Swann is able to deal with Immortals with his turrets way better than Carax, and it's mostly because Swann has his own double damage against armored turret that will chew through Immortals quite effectively.
Also, can't you use Wraiths to snipe the Immortals also? Because, you know, Wraiths are
You can
fast guys, and you can target down the Wraiths before they get Avenger.
target. The problem is that
There are a lot of them.
Immortals will. Well, no, it's that it's like, yes, we're going to target down the Immortals and ignore the Archons that are literally standing on top of the Immortals. That'll definitely go well.
All right.
Yes.
Fair.
Like it's not like Avon just says this attack wave is Immortals and nothing else. Well, actually, he does sometimes, but not most of the time.
Attack waves of Immortals and nothing else sounds scarier, to be honest, but point taken.
Well, Immortals and like Zealots or something. But the point is, so Carax's defense, here's the thing. Remember, the difference between Carax defense and Swann defense is Swann defense has a whole lot of shooting things really good. Carax defense is basically tanky. And it has repair
just
beam.
enough DPS to clear things eventually.
Yeah, for the most part, Carax's defense relies on repair beam, and then a lot of the killing, it's like it kind of holds the enemy in place for the Spear of Doom to kill them. The actual damage output of Carax turrets is not great, actually. So Swann, meanwhile, is very damage oriented. His blaster ability turrets at 12 range with slowing attack are a very effective counter.
All right.
Against.
All right. So, summing up? Is this A?
I would say that he's A. Yeah.
How about you, Twotuuu? Oh, you don't think he's A? Because of the Immortals. Possibility of Immortals.
Like any heavy anti-armor units, they break his stuff.
I don't think he's. I've basically the reason I'm sticking to saying that I think he's A is because I've definitely seen Swann's defense handle Immortals just fine.
But
unlike Carax's defense.
But Immortals with Avenger and just die. And
I don't think
Temple of the Past. In addition to that, Temple of the Past is a map where you have to fly sometimes to opposite corners to deal with two waves because, yeah, that's just how the map works. At 9 minutes, if it's a ground, they attack both sides, and then again at 18 minutes, and again during the Thrasher spawns.
I don't think he can hold both sides that easily.
I can see the
he holds
argument.
His side just fine. That's why I put him in B because he holds his side just fine. He can help the other side.
Well, I wasn't saying that A is like hold both sides easily. That's why I'm not saying he's S. I'm saying that A is hold your own sign easily and be able to help your ally when needed, unless your ally is like always needing help.
I'm not sure actually. I can see both arguments. Like Swann is strong enough to hold and then help, whereas he does have trouble against certain enemy compositions that have immortals, I guess. How about is it also an option to just stall with factories, or does that not work? Like,
Not
if they're
not
flying
real.
if they're flying over the enemy wave, will since if it's immortals, they will also have stuff to shoot up. Will the immortals just walk past the floating factories?
Even if they don't, all that you're doing is just making it so that you build up a bigger wave until it's something that you literally cannot kill, and now you just successfully managed to make yourself lose. Realistically, the only useful application of factory stalling is for the very last wave.
For the
After
very
the
last
last
wave.
2 Thrashers have spawned, if you want to use what minerals you have to just start spamming factories around the temple as fast as humanly possible, that's an option at that point.
Oh wait, I forgot. Eminent Domain was a thing. So if you lose the factories, they'll land it and start producing units.
No, I don't
They don't
think
land
Amon,
it.
They don't land
Amon
it?
doesn't know how to land it. Amon doesn't
They
know
won't
how to
land
land it. He's not smart enough.
I'm pretty sure I've seen
But
it
if you didn't
once,
lift
but
them, they will build.
Yeah, if they're landed already, they'll build. Amon is not smart enough to figure out how to land them.
I actually
At
completely
least on most
forgot
maps.
that
There
Eminent Domain
might
was a
be
thing.
a map.
Yeah,
There
they'll
might
take
be a
your
map.
turrets.
Yeah, I can
shoot your
I can see it. I can see it now. Like when you're Swann and you start losing a turret, that turret suddenly becomes a Swann turret that Amon has against you, and that makes
Yeah,
your
but like
defense significantly weaker.
he takes no, 'cause he takes like a flaming Betty in the front that gets immediately blown up by your own turrets. Because remember, your turrets are going to blow up what's closest to them, and the most of your defense, unless it's an air comp, is going to want to be the ones that are anti-armored turrets. Any turret that Amon steals is just going to be instantly one shot.
Assuming you
Also,
have
if
enough
you are
turrets.
also if you are really worried about it, then if you start salvaging a turret and then Amon destroys it, he'll steal it, but it won't cancel the fact that it's salvaging, so it will just salvage.
Also,
not shoot.
something else that's annoying that I found that I have to deal with Amon is they don't often shoot the turret in front. They'll shoot one in the middle. This is especially true for Carax, and it's annoying. You have like a neat cell. You have a neat wall of cannons, and then they destroy one in the middle, and there's a hole in your beautiful wall of cannons, and you can't
That
just
usually happens because they shoot the one that's like behind the shield battery.
behind the shield
And
battery.
And it's actually like it is actually kind of like the closest cannon. It's just that there's a shield
The
battery
shield
in front
battery
of
in
it.
front
So
of
it ends up being
Oh yeah, I actually forgot to talk about that. So when we are Carax here, do we put the shield battery still in front of the cannon or behind, or does it depend on the enemy composition?
as
Never,
always. It just
never
depends on
behind.
Never behind, even when
What?
it's ranged.
Against.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
against
I don't
ranged.
think putting it in front against.
Hybrids.
True,
Yeah,
for
that's
hybrid.
true. All right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, fair enough.
All right, so
There are certainly some maps where it's like it isn't really huge hybrid concern, and so if I'm fighting against, well, basically just if I'm fighting against Terran specifically, then yeah.
how many rows of turrets do you want? I just want the answer because I don't know how you guys. How many rows of turrets do you have as Swann against this mutation per lane?
3 rows as long as possible.
3
but
rows as long as possible.
I'm trying to get more, but then it's like
It gets too
I don't
hectic.
have
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you want as many rows as you can get, basically.
But yeah,
lots and lots of rows.
at what
Just
point
keep spamming turrets.
do you stop turreting and just transition to wraiths so you can have something against the Thrashers?
I think it's less you stop turreting and more like you just at like once you've got like a baseline of turrets on every front, you slap down like 1 or 2 starports, depending on how quickly you want to be killing Thrashers. And then keep turreting, but now you have starports that are producing wraiths, so you can turret slower because you have less money to spend on turrets.
Yeah, that's
But
what
like,
that's what I
you
thought.
need like 4 starports to spend
4?
all of your money on wraiths. So
There's no way.
you're
3
like
is fine, right?
wraiths are quite cheap and have a very long build time. So it takes if you are fully saturated and you're putting all your money into wraiths, it takes a lot of starports to
4 starports if
spend
it's
all your.
only wraiths. If you're building other stuff, then you need 3.
Yes.
And
So my point is, you're building 2 starports here, basically, is what I would suggest, and then you're going to have a fair bit of money left over for other stuff, and you're going to spend that money on continuing to spam out turrets and just keep making it a thicker and thicker wall of turrets.
all right, let's leave it there. So do we settle on B or on A?
I mean, he seems better than the other B guys, but he didn't fit my criteria for A because the enemy count matters.
So far, we don't have
also
anyone in
think-
A, by the way. We have 0 commanders in A.
There will be some soon.
There will be some soon. Okay,
Yes.
how about we put Swann in B for now, and then decide later if he gets promoted? How about that? So,
Okay, sure.
so far we have on the docket we have Abathur and Alarak, who we were discussing as having potential to be an A, and now we just put Swann in there. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the thing. Okay.
There are 2 more things. One is that I think you should use Cyclones because they're good against
Speaking of
Avenger
the latest
units.
patch. Oh.
Cyclones. And the other thing is you can build turrets right next to where the Thrashers spawn and just leave the last 2 and don't fight them. So you don't need wraiths.
Don't need wraiths. This is true. You do kind of have to push up the lane if you want to use turrets for the Thrashers, but
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
true.
Or can't you just float a factory near to give vision to your laser, or does that take too long?
Takes too long.
All
That's
right.
2 lives.
Yeah, that's way too long. Yeah.
Or just-
I would say making wraiths and not pushing out the lane is easier, and I would say that wraiths are just a better unit than cyclones in general. But you could use the pushing out and getting turrets around the like 2 turrets near the Thrasher option, and it does not take a lot of turrets to kill Thrasher because like Swann's turrets have a lot of DPS, as we said.
All right. So, yeah, we'll put him in B for now for discussion on promotion. Let's move on.